Look where you look like where you at right now. Is that where you got Maui or something behind you?
I'm wherever the wind blows. If it's a beach is there, then that's where I'm at. Good people, good people. You got to get a people what they want. Woo-wee. Good people, good people. You got to get a people what they want. Woo-wee.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Mike Turner. I got my big cousin Corey right here.
You know, Corey live from Quincy, just stopping in.
So how you doing, Angel?
I'm living the dream.
Miss Rhonda Ramsey.
Yeah, there it is.
Owner of the Angels Online. I want to start from the beginning before we really even get to it. Tell us like who you are. Who is Rhonda Ramsey? And then like from, let's say from the ages of 6 to, 16, through the developmental stages. What was you doing that kind of got you to who you are today and built you to who you are?
At the age of 6, I was running around in school. I was just in elementary, talkative, always laughing, having a good time. I said the same thing I say right now, almost famous. My mama be famous, running around playing with cap guns,
Right.
Just doing all this stuff, learning how to kind of dribble a basketball. I love the game of basketball, Michael Jordan. Growing up, I spent a lot of time with my family, playing sports, and I started playing organized basketball at 11. Before that, I was really into soccer, and let's see, we lived in the city of St. Louis on the south side. We moved to the Blue Myers, and then we moved, after so many break-ins, we moved deeper south to kind of by the state streets, Louisiana, off Grand, by Spring and Delore. We were just outside people, where the rest of the family was, my mom's side. I grew up around my mom's side. My dad was in prison when I was growing up, so I was just a little tomboy, just running around, playing kickball, doing everything sport, jumping fences, playing hide and seek, jumping fences, and doing all that crazy stuff. I got war wounds to prove them.
Got the kneecap scrapes.
Man, you don't even remind me. Okay. So, anywho, just at 11 years old, I started playing organized basketball as Matthew Dickey, and I say that played a big part of my life. Those same friends that I made are the same best friends that I have to this day, actually. And it was a game of basketball that took me even further and just being positive, because when you play sports, you got to be positive. And I was never like a bad kid or anything like that. So I played sports literally with those friends, whether it was AAU, Matthew Dickey, police athletic league. Literally, it was just basketball. I would have 3 or 4 games a day, run from Matthew Dickey to Herbert Hoover. And we would do that from one team. If another team needed players, we would just get on and go play with that team. I mean, it was like a big family, and that was one hell of a development, because that's what shows, it takes a village.
Right.
So I literally, and then when I went to middle school, we were there, and then we moved to U City. And so I spent 8th grade year going to Brittany Woods Middle School. And literally that was my first time, I think, really understanding and seeing how it was to go to all Black school, and then white people were the minority in U City. And I was like, oh my God, these kids, wow, this is crazy, but it was so fun, and we were all smart, did all work, a bunch of athletes, just everything. It was just so different, and it was the same conference as Eureka was in. So I couldn't go to U City High School, but I wanted to go back to Eureka anyways. U City did not have school buses. So I was like, I'm not walking to my mom. We're not walking to school. Right. And I was going to go to Cardinal Ritter, and I got accepted and everything. I was going to play basketball because I wasn't going to leave my best friend. And then I didn't want my mom paying for that to go to school and everything, because we didn't really have it like that. So I ended up going back to Eureka, and I played basketball and I ran track varsity. And that was literally my life. I was just an athlete. I worked out. I started lifting weights at the age of 15 and working
Right.
out and everything because I was bullied by my brother big time growing up, and which really affected my relationship with him. And so I started lifting weights, and I had a lot of friends there. A lot of people I knew at Eureka. I went to school with from age 5, 4.5, 5 years old. So when I went back to Eureka, it was like normal. It was nothing was new. So, and even the coaches played a big part too. So that was up to 16, man.
So after that transition from, hooping and everything, what kind of, I know you went to college, so you went to college and everything. Did you start hooping out there as well?
I played basketball my freshman year in Allen County. I was gonna go to Emporia State University to run track. First of all, my pediatrician, my doctor didn't want me to play anything. I had a lot of injuries in high school, shortness of breath. I had just a lot of issues. I was in the pulled muscles, just a whole lot. Ankles, I had to get taped up before games, before track meets, flat footed. But I went anyways, and while I was in Mexico and senior trip or whatnot, I got a different offer for basketball. And so I went and played basketball, got a respiratory infection that year, my freshman year, and also bust both my burst sacks in practice, coming down on both my knees. And I was like, okay, you know what? I should have listened. And then I went transferred to Missouri State my sophomore year, went to Missouri State University. It was either Mizzou or Missouri State, and because a lot of my friends from Eureka were going to those schools, and I prefer to stay in state because it would be cheaper because I had a scholarship for basketball. So going to school in Kansas and Allen County and Iola, Kansas, it really didn't come. I didn't really come out any money for that. So when I went to Missouri State, I knew a lot of people there already. And then I did a couple internships. One thing about me, I was always like open to be great and be free. I always said I wanted to travel and do this, that, and the other. We didn't have a bunch of money where we were getting on planes and doing all that growing up. So my first plane ride was at 18 on a senior trip to Cancun, Mexico, seeing the beach for the first time, almost dying in the ocean, being there for the first time, not knowing what the hell I was doing. In that water, thinking I'm jumping waves, and then getting pulled by the sandbars and the current. So but after that I was like, oh, I'm leaving anytime I feel like it. I'm out of here. So I did the Disney college program. I heard about something, was like, oh, I'm gonna do that. That's Disney, that's Florida, I'm gonna do that. I did it. Met a whole lot of people that I still am friends with to this day. And then after the Disney college program, I went back to Missouri State. I was there. And then in 2008, I did an internship with St. Louis Police Department at Sex Crimes, Child Abuse. That spring, I did that. I think I turned 21. And then after that, I did another internship in 2009 for the undercover security at Worlds of Fun in Kansas City. And then I got accepted for the Disney College program again. And I also got accepted for the National Student Exchange through Missouri State. So I literally hit like a bang, 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 3 things at once. I told my mom, they all came in the mail. I was like, oh, wow. So when I did the last one I did was 2010, National Student Exchange, is when I picked up a basketball again and started playing ball again at the University of Virgin Islands. I tried out and they gave me a pair of Jordans, and boom, I was in Puerto Rico every other weekend playing basketball. That was probably the dopest experience because I woke up to planes. I woke up to the nice deep blue sea, the blue, beautiful water that you see in pictures. I literally lived it right down the street from Brewers Bay and St. Thomas Virgin Islands. I met so many people. I was on yachts. I was kicking it on this small island, let me tell you. And I got great pictures, friendships, everything, like, to prove it. Like, it was just amazing, so I did that. And then I graduated in December 2010. That's what extended me, because I would have graduated in 2009, but me getting all the experiences is what extended me and had me graduate in the fall of 2010 instead of spring in 2009. And then I got my my undergrad in criminology with a minor in sociology.
Well, it sounds like a lot of hard work, and what I'm saying, you definitely got the fruits of your labor, definitely showing, because you're getting them in type of experience is like a great thing. You know what I'm saying, especially getting to travel. But you mentioned earlier, I heard what you said earlier. You said like back when you was like 15, when you started lifting weights, you started getting like, you said bullied by your big brother back then. Was that one of them pivotal moments that kind of shaped you to who you are, or what would you say was one of them, one of the moments in your life that kind of formed, what you're doing now?
One, my dad being in prison growing up. I've always liked the police and doing that type of stuff. And yeah, being bullied by my brother, picked on, because I was like the little tomboy, but he was just mean. You know what I'm saying? And it was to the point where I'm like, ain't nobody gonna hit me ever again. That bullying stuff, those played a part. And then just seeing what life is like, to struggle here and there and to see some things that, you don't want anybody else to deal with, and just, the importance that people played in my life growing up. Kids out here need that as well.
Mhm.
So it's like, giving back, and the things that I felt like could have been addressed or I could have learned about prior to being 25, 26, 27, 19, 21, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now that we have all these opportunities, I'm taking my life experiences, my questions I may have had back then, I'm just taking them all and I'm trying to give to the kids, to the youth now, and that you have a voice. When I felt like I couldn't speak in the house, or I wasn't comfortable talking to my mom about certain topics, or they just weren't topics, stay in a child's place, like little things, just a bunch of stuff. And then it just, I always thought I wanted to do this, do that. I wanted to be in criminal justice. I always knew I wanted to be in criminal justice. That was never a question, all of that. When I went to college, I wasn't undecided by any means. I knew what I wanted to do. But as time went on and I started dealing with the criminal justice system, having these jobs, working with kids, starting at the age of 19, it comes with experience. The more experience you get is like the more that comes to your mind, and you just like, you know what, maybe I can do this, man. Maybe, man, I need to do this. And then something else. And then you get experience on something else. And you like, okay, man, okay, now I can do that. Okay. It's just like constant ideas. But it all started when I was young, growing up. A lot of my friends' dad were like father figures to me, you know what I'm saying? Like my godfather, and then Herman Jackson. And then you have all my friends, my close friends, their dads and everything, they were literally like dads to me and still are to this day. I can call them, and it's, they might not know how important it was or how important it is, but it's important, and I just try to find a way to give back. And then being in juvenile, working in juvenile so much, and just actually listening to these kids and dealing with them and seeing these traumas and seeing all of it, you put it all together and you like, man, they deal with so many people when they get in the system, from mental health, psych, counselors. They deal with all these people, but who really understands them? And a lot of times kids feel like that person don't understand, man. They don't really understand. So it's like, let's create something where they can choose who they can relate to. Yeah, I can sit here and talk to this mental health profession, but he has no idea. He has no clue what it likes to be hungry. He has no idea that, I'm doing this for this and this. He's just judging me, or he's saying I got this issue and that issue. But there's a reason behind a lot of things that people do. So working with kids for so long, I was just like, there's got to be something more. Let me give these kids something that they can relate to, and, they can choose to relate to. Instead of me being in a facility, let me address this, because I'm seeing some things that I can relate to these kids, and yet I'm not locked up. I am not in juvenile detention. I am not in prison, which lets me know that any and everybody can go through these life situations. You don't have to be labeled as a criminal. You don't have to be labeled as this, that, and the other. Nah, we all have these issues. These are regular life problems. Doesn't matter what race you are. We all have these issues, these problems. So somebody behind bars might be able to relate to somebody that's out here. And that right there can help motivate, influence, or inspire whatever their next move might be, or whatever their current move is. So, yeah, it started when I was young, though.
Okay, well, that's what's up. Well, I mean, anything you want to jump in before I go to the next question?
So in a sense, the Angels Online would be like that safety blanket, or that safety net that juvenile who might not have that outlet or that person to sit there and talk to or to tell those problems to. Like the Angels Online not only is a platform to voice that, but it's also a safe haven for them to speak on any topics. Is that what you're saying though?
Yes, that is exactly what the Angels Online is for. They can go on there. If I'm on the Angels Online and somebody's like, man, that's how my life is right now, they can go to the Angels Online and they can have that discussion. You know what I mean? And then with nobody judging them or whatnot, of course we'll look at, make sure, everything, no comments or just, disrespectful or anything of that nature, like outrageous or whatnot. But they can go on the Angels Online. They might leave school and be like, man, scratch this. Let me go see what the Angels Online is talking about. Let me go see what that topic was about. If there's something on there that they might be able to go to and just listen to, somebody might be going through something and they can say, you know what, I was just going through the same, get on the Angels Online and say, you know what, I'm glad. Thank you for sharing. You know what I'm saying? I just read what you wrote and that's the same thing that's going on with me right now. It could be, it's just that place where they can talk to somebody, they can listen, they can have somebody, listen to them, they can write it and have somebody listen to it. You know what I mean? Builds relationships on the internet, like, relationship wise, where, you can go on YouTube and you can comment about stuff or whatnot, but that's what the Angels Online is about. You can go on there, you can listen. That's like a person who's been sober for 20 years and feel like nobody cares, but somebody might be starting their journey and they're going to go on there and say, you know what? Thank you for sharing. I'm just now starting my journey, and just to let you know, you're not alone.
Right.
So that's what the Angels Online is about. We address all topics, whatever. If you want to hear about a topic, you can go on the angelsonline.org. You can put your topic in, and if you want to be anonymous, it'll be anonymous. If you want to say, hey, my name is Jim, John, and Joe, and I just want to put this out there, this is my topic, I'll shout you out and say, what, this topic is dedicated to so-and-so. He wanted to talk about this, and this is what we're going to talk about this Wednesday.
See, I think that's great, man, because like in today's age where social media has things so judgmental and like, I feel like a lot of times these kids, it ends up being an isolation and an alienation thing because they go through things that they don't feel like are common things, or they don't feel like other people go through. So then they hold that in. It becomes them dealing with problems that they don't even know. Like, you pick 9 out of 10 people, they probably done been through or going through the same thing. But I feel like as a Black culture, we don't deal with emotions. We don't deal with illnesses, mental illnesses, because those are real. But I feel like we don't, and I don't say, well, we don't speak about that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't speak about it because we don't hear nobody else talking about it. You tell your grandma, or you tell your auntie, I'm feeling this way. Boy, you ain't feeling that way. Go sit down. Or boy, you okay? Boy, like, yeah, boy, how you stressed out, like stuff, how you depressed, stuff like that. But you never know. These kids could be bullied at school. These kids could be going through so much stuff. And then they act out or they have outbursts. And like you said, you got somebody who's not used to dealing with this type of kid or this type of situation. They don't know what they're going through. They just know that they reacted and now they're in trouble at school, or now they're in juvie, or now they did something like that's going to affect their life way down in the future. They don't even realize it, but there's nobody there that prevented it. There's nobody there to stop it. There's no outlet they had. So if nothing else, it'd be like a preventative measure. Like, you need somebody to talk to, we here to talk to. It's open, like we unbiased, like open arms for anybody. And I think that's great. I think that message you got going is great.
That's what the Angels on. You used good examples. That's what the Angels Online is about. That is exactly, one of our main things that I want to like put an emphasis on. Like, people don't listen to what they have going on, and they minimize the problem and don't realize that it's something big to this individual. And then they think that they by themselves and they don't have, you know what, man, I'm finna go to the Angels Online. I'm getting off school and I'm going straight to the Angels Online and I'm gonna see what's going on. I'm about to go back and replay that episode that I heard because you know what, that episode, I think that helped me and that motivated me. I'm not going to listen to what this stuff is going on. You know, I'm gonna reach out and I'm gonna send the emails to the Angels Online, you know, info, and see if we can talk about this, because I want this to be addressed, you know, and I want people to be able to say, I want to talk about suicide awareness. You know, I have this issue. You know what? We're going to talk about it. You know, and eventually I would like to have, you know, a resources tab with different states where I know different resources after I done networked and connected with so many people. Like if it's a therapy, if it's therapy clinic, you know, whatever it is that's available, I'll put it on there. If you're in Houston, Texas, go to this place or whatever. If you're looking for assistance or whatnot, I know of this place, literally just a resource for people to go or whatnot. They can be anonymous, they can call them, they can do whatever, but just to be a resource to people, especially the youth, because that's what it's for, to bring youth juvenile awareness to everybody, and also to parents and to adults and everybody who haven't addressed issues, so they can know that, hey, you got to respect these kids. You know, they have something to say. They have something going on. So thanks for acknowledging that. That's what it's for. That's what the Angels Online is about.
That's great. That's actually what a lot of these kids need. But like, what was that person or like those people in your life that kind of, because a lot of these kids don't have that person that can kind of steer them in the right direction or be a positive influence where they can see something in a good direction. You know what I'm saying? So who was those people like in your life that, you know, definitely give them a shout out, but they kept you on the right track. They kept you focused, because it's too much to go out here. It's too much going on to stay focused. You know what I'm saying?
It was the fact that I had sports, you know,
Right.
and then my mom, you know what I'm saying? My mom wasn't out here doing nothing crazy. She was working. We did picnics. We didn't have much, but we did picnics. You know, we would go to the movies. She would be at games. She would be working 2 jobs, you know, and we would be able to get like little candy or whatever, you know. We were baking cookies and making cinnamon rolls, like little stuff. Like we were doing the stuff that we saw on TV. My mom would try to, and she would try to make sure we had it. You know, we would go to the park and play, kick a soccer ball around. You know what I'm saying? Those are the type of things that we would do. We would go watch my cousin, Lil Randy, play sports. And then I started playing sports, and she got us all involved in something. We didn't have a place to do wrong. You know, if we did wrong, it was when we got older. She wasn't out here smoking and drinking. You know, we didn't hang around stuff like that. You know, we did a lot of stuff with our family. She played freaking cards, tunk crazy ace or whatever, you know. So, and then my friend's parents, you know, I was going fishing, you know, with Mr. Doughty. I was going fishing. I was with the plumbers, you know. I would go to Deeja's to the Daces, you know. I would do stuff like that. I would hang out in Eureka with like my friends out there, and my mom would let me go out there, and I would hang out and be with their families and do stuff. Like I didn't have time. I didn't have, you know, no matter what neighborhood we grew up in, my mom kept us out of that out of those negative relations. So, I mean, and my cousins, like, you know, I'm close to some of my older cousins, you know, growing up. You know, I wanted to sit around. One of my favorite cousins, deceased Cat, like I wanted to hang around Dinky and Cat, you know, and I wanted to hang around, you know, I was around TT, you know, hanging around watching her kids grow up or whatever. You know, they had kids early on. Like I got first cousins who had kids early on, and I knew I wasn't supposed to be having no kids early on. That's not what you're supposed to be doing, you know. But I hung around them and whatnot because I just like to be around my cousins, and they weren't having me. You know, I wasn't doing anything wrong. You know, I had to babysit. That's what I would do, some babysit.
Right.
You know, and I mean, it's so many. I can't just say, oh, this person or that person, you know, that would be unfair to a lot of people. But just know, like they say, I'll keep saying it, it takes a village. It takes a village. You know, my coaches played a huge part. You know, Heather Taylor, to this day, she ran the hell out of us. But Heather was one of my most favorite coaches outside of Chad Lamison and Pat Grimshaw. You know, so I mean, yeah, There's a lot of people.
Hey, what's up? And they all deserve it. But I mean, the Angels Online so far has been very active. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot going on. But what's been like one, or you can name a few at this time, some of the accomplishments that you got so far that you know that you want to recognize right now, that you know, since you've been started.
I think what makes me happy is the amount of support that I get for it. You know, I'm not a millionaire or anything, and you know, friends of mine who specialize in different areas that are required by the Angels Online, and them helping and being able to get promo videos out, you know, get my website going, you know, the social media, and you know, trying to make sure I'm up with what's going on in 2021 in order to get exposure for it, and then just, you know, all the positive feedback and people recognizing that, hey, this doesn't exist right now and it's necessary. And I think that's a major accomplishment for me. Just, you know, just people seeing, you know, people always say, oh, what can I do for you? You know, just support it. That's, I mean, there's really nothing. It's a vision that came to my head. So I can't take out my head and give it to you and put it on you and make you do this or do that. No, but you know, if you specialize in something that I might need, and I might just ask you, hey, you know, I really don't know software engineering, but you do. Would you mind helping me? You know, that's you know, that's kind of something big to me, and something I just appreciate, and that I'm glad is that I had support. You know, I didn't have, I can't name one person who said that ain't gonna work, or you shouldn't be able, or you shouldn't be doing that. Man, what you gonna get out of that? Man, you ain't finna make no money. I ain't have nobody say any of that. I haven't had any negativity, because you know, if I did, they had to go. They got to go.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's, I haven't had any of that. So that's one thing I'm grateful for and I'm thankful for. So I'm just glad that I'm getting a lot of support for it. You know, it might not be monetary value, but it's spiritually, mentally, you know, people are continuing to motivate, influence, and inspire me, you know, just by motivating, just by being active and responding to the Angels Online and everything, because that's what I'm about: motivating, influence, and inspire, and just try to get people, pushing people to do the right thing, deterring them from doing the wrong thing, and just motivating people to just keep going and, you know, follow their goals, their visions, you know. So
Yeah, that's something I actually live by. It's like, what does the quote say? The highest human act is to inspire. That's something I truly believe. You know what I'm saying? Because like, what's your purpose if you're not like inspiring the next person to do better? That's great. Now, a lot of acting, you've done a lot, but what's something that's in the like close to immediate future that you know you're excited for? That's, you know, that you haven't done yet, or that's something that's, you know, what's up and coming that you're excited for?
I'm just excited for the Angels Online to come out each and every Wednesday, and for people to really give me the opportunity to do what I want to do. You know, I would people to interview with me, and so they can motivate, influence, and inspire people. And that's a goal of mine, is to just be able to get people to share their information, their professional knowledge and experiences, or their personal experiences, because somebody out there is in need of you and your story. There's somebody out there, you know, I know I'm, you know, I'm just a small business, small person, you know what I mean? But, you know, I feel like I'm doing something that makes sense.
Right.
So, you know, the biggest thing for me is just to get my episodes out there going, and just to get people listening. And that's all I really want, is to get people to listen and pay attention and acknowledge. And if they listen and they don't have to comment, they don't have to subscribe, they don't have to like, I don't care, but at least utilize what you're listening to, and put it towards everyday life somehow. Help somebody. You know, if you one that talks bad about somebody, or down somebody, you know, listen to an episode and, you know, go lift up somebody instead. You know, that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm just looking forward to getting episodes and getting it out there. There's not too much that I can really hope for, because everything comes after that. I got to be heard first, and that's my thing, to get heard outside of St. Louis.
Oh yeah, keep it pushing. That's all that's gonna matter. As long as you, like you said, steady dropping and consistently. That's the only thing that ever stops people, is when they quit. That's literally the only thing, and it's gonna get heard. But I know you don't like. You said you don't want to like talk about, like, you know, what's to come. But what do you see yourself in 5 years with the Angels Online? Like, I know everything coming day by day, but what do you want to be doing in 5 years with it?
I want to be doing this full time. I want to be doing this full time after a year, actually. I want to do this full time. I want to be able to travel. I want people to reach out to me and want to do interviews and want to talk about this. I would like to have more things. Like, I have a list of things that I want to offer with the Angels Online, scholarships, for each quarter, have a scholarship. I want to have back to school events. These are the things that I want to be known for and want to be doing. I just want to be giving back. In 5 years, I want to be doing this full time. I want to be financially stable, doing a passion and doing what I love to do. I want to be a resource to people. I want to be economically stable, speaking engagements, whatever it is that I can do to help. That's what I want to be doing.
So in a nutshell, you saying in 5 years, you want to have made that impact.
That's it. I want to be heard. In 5 years, I want people around the world to know who Angel is from the Angels Online and what I'm about and what I do.
Hey, that's amazing. I ain't gonna say that's a great closing, but that was a great way to wrap that up. And the thing is, I do want to say, everybody need to make sure y'all go on Instagram. Make sure you follow the Angels Online. I'm looking at it right now. You got tons of content, and you got like these tote bags, you got gear, you got merch, so people can go online and be able to purchase your items. Correct?
Man, they can go to theangelsonline.org and purchase. They can go to my Facebook page and find the website. They can go to the Instagram and find the website. They can go on Beacon and find it. They can subscribe wherever they like to subscribe. They can go on Anchor and donate. They can become a monthly sponsor on Patreon. Whatever it is, I appreciate it. I accept it. I don't care if you like, follow, and subscribe. I don't care if you walking down the street in the mall and you tell somebody, hey man, make sure you check out the Angels Online next episode. Whatever it is you're doing, I appreciate it. Get some merch, get a shirt, whatever you want to have. I got tumblers, I got shirts, I got mugs, bags, masks. COVID is out here, which is why we have to do video. We got masks. Wear your mask, good people.
Mask up. Hey, look, we're gonna catch y'all next episode. We got Rhonda Ramsey right here with the Angels Online. Thank y'all for tuning in. We got Corey right here. Give us a little closing statement.
Hey, yo, I'ma just say the platform she got, the energy is just, bro, it's out of this world. Like, you're not gonna find a more comfortable space to talk about any topic that you need to talk about. You really not. And I feel like it's something, bro, everybody talking, you might as well talk about something.
Right, get it off your chest.
Yeah, hey man, don't keep that shit in, man.
Let's talk about it. That's what I say. Let's talk about it.
But yeah, hey, this Coral, I'm glad I could be a part of this. Look, Big Cuz, do your thing for sure. I most definitely hit up on my episode. We'll get into that later. We're gonna keep it under wraps right now. So please,
thank y'all.
Man, aside from anything else, it take a lot of believing in yourself. And it don't matter who gonna tell you can't do it, don't matter how far that goal look, bro, you just gotta start somewhere. Everybody gotta start somewhere. The Angels Online started in your head. And now look, we sitting here doing an episode. Come on now, we just had this conversation about it and now we doing it. Man, you gotta start somewhere, man. But anybody can reach any goal they got, man. Just remember that. And I 100% support you, dog.
You know it.
One time for the one time. The Angels Online. Thank y'all.
Hey, thank y'all. Peace out. We out.